All right, this is REED-BBS, BBS, Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies, here with the one and only Derrick James. What's up, D. James?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man? I'm chilling, man.
Me too. 2017 Trainer of the Year. 2020 looking real good for you. Even though it's a COVID year, you still looking like the heavy candidate for 2020. How does that feel?
Hey, man, it feels good. I mean, I think that if you look at it, I've been more consistent than everybody, and it's all good though, So I mean, it's life. Just gotta stay on top of the job, bro, and it's looking real good for me. And just gotta stay on. You can't just because it's looking real good doesn't mean you gotta work a little.
For those out there that don't know, this man here is the trainer of Jermell Charlo, WBC, WBA, and IBF Super Welterweight champion, and of course, Errol the Truth Spence Jr., WBC and IBF welterweight champion. He'll be fighting this Saturday, December 5th against Danny Garcia. He's also a Dallas Texan. And with that, I want to shout out to Taylor August, RIP to Curtis Cokes, and my dear friend, lawman, Coach John Lawson. Also, shout out to my little bro, Jamal Lawson, Coach's son, and all of LBT, the Louisville boxing team. So let's get into your origins, Derrick.
And Dickie Cole. And Dickie Cole.
Right. Dickie died right after Curtis. That was the last time I saw him. So just talk to me about your origins, your relationships with them, and just the impact of losing them so suddenly.
Well, man, really, I was like, I'm from Oak Cliff, man. Really, I started out in East Dallas. So from the projects, Fraser Court, we moved to Bonton. Then after that, we moved to Oak Cliff. At 5, I was like in Oak Cliff, going to W.W. Bushman. Growing up, it's like, and really, what's funny about it? It wasn't like the idea of it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody said, rough and tough. It's just like regular life, People fight, people get into this, people get into that. And grew up in the boys club. So going to the boys club at 5 years old. Followed my older brother to the boys club, man. He started boxing, I started boxing. That was it. I mean, it was like I played other sports, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, everything. But I saw that I could go further in boxing. I saw that I could travel the country and do whatever. That was it, man. I saw I could. It's my way out. You know what I'm saying? Like when you play football, it's 50 other guys or whatever it is. Basketball is 6 to 10. Boxing is just me, man. I saw that was my way out, and I pushed it. I kept motivated, kept pushing myself.
It's funny you say that because I'm from St. Louis originally. Now, my parents divorced when I was very young. My mother had me in the suburbs, but I go stay with my pops, kick it with my pops on the weekends.
Right.
It wasn't until I went back to his neighborhood in St. Louis that I recognized that was the hood. Like I heard you saying how you growing up in it, you didn't know. It was just, it was what it was, know. So did boxing choose you or did you choose boxing? Like looking back on your life, how it played out, what would you say to that?
That I chose it and I saw it as a vehicle to get out of a situation. I didn't know I was poor. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't, I didn't know I was poor. You know what I mean? You really kind of don't know everybody similar. Really, we were poor than all the other kids. They used to tease us, but you never knew it. But boxing was that thing that was an equalizer. I mean, like it was you start traveling, got on the USA team. I won my first national at 10 years old, like Ohio State Fair Tournament, which was a big tournament back in the day. Then after that, 14, I won the National Junior Olympics. No, 15, sorry, 15 won the National Junior Olympics. When I went to the Nationals the year before that, I lost the first fight. Then the following year, I won the whole thing. So it was like, get a taste of it, then you won it all, So I think that was what pushed me the second year. And then, but nah, man, I'm an inner city kid, man. I love that. And I think that, the whole idea of it changed, the narrative of it changed, because I think people wanted to be more. So they changed it to the idea of rough and tough.
Right. Angry, criminal background, things of that nature. Right, right.
I think that's the level of insecurity that plays the whole area, that you feel like you have to be something that you're not. And I know kids who I grew up with who used to beat up or used to fight, right? And I was boxing, so it was like, I was a boxer since I was 5, but and then you see them as grown ups, older guys, they're thugs, and like, man, what happened, man? Like, you was a good kid. I mean, it was like that's just the idea of it, though. The idea of, I think that if you walk around and look rough and tough, you don't have to worry about anybody bothering you, or you know what I'm saying, who look a certain way, that you won't stand out. I think that the key to success is individuality, not to conform to the situation, but hey, it's life.
It is life. So speaking of which, let's get into maybe some of your memories or run-ins with other Dallas dignitaries, Curtis Coates, Quincy Taylor. Of course, you trained Errol
Right.
Spence Jr. I know Maurice Hooker has been in and out of your gym and various places. So just kind of touch on, of course, not EJ, because we'll get into him in a second, but maybe touch on your interactions with the other 3 world champions from Dallas.
Well, but Curtis was always like this big figure, and his gym was not too far from the boys' club. So it was like every now and then you see him, or we would go over there. He had a boxing team, so and we would always, we would always beat him though. Yeah, we always beat him.
Would y'all go harder against his team because he was who he was? And
no, I think that we didn't think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
because it's like when you're around things like that, you don't think about, oh, he was a world champion. That's kind of it. You don't really think about it. And that's kind of what it was. I mean, because you think about the fighter, you think about winning the Golden Gloves, you think about going to the Nationals, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But you're not about the trainer or the coach. The trainer and coach really didn't become a big pivotal situation until, like, I think they found somebody that liked them, Freddie Roach. Angelo Dundee, they had a name, but they wasn't like it is now. I mean,
right.
Even with Emmanuel Stewart, he had a name, but it's not like it is now. I mean, so I think that.
When did they start, to your point, when did they start giving out Trainer of the Year award? Do you even know?
I don't know when they started, but it's like, because it's named after Eddie Futch.
Is it 20 years old? Is it 15 years old? Like, how long, to your knowledge, has it been around?
Baby, I think it could be like, I would say 10, but less than 20 probably.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Okay.
And but I mean, like, and just interact with Quincy Taylor. I used to spar Quincy every day when I was an amateur. He trained in our gym first. Then he went to Curtis Coates, but he won the title with Curtis Coates. So he trained in first. Spar every day, man. So you go up fast in the gym when the guy punched so hard. He was a big puncher, and he was he's a smart fighter, so it was real good. Plus, I was like one of the top amateurs, and he was, at the time, he was moving up and going to it was like the Budweiser the tournament that he won in California at the Felt Farm, and after that, whatever happened, and then he went Curtis. So,
okay. So when's the last time you talked to Maurice or saw Maurice Hooker, former super lightweight champ?
I haven't seen Maurice in a long time, but I remember being in the gym with him when he first started. He was over there with Greg Hadley now. So I was at the gym with Greg now. And I was kind of helping out with the kids because I wasn't fighting anymore. I was kind of helping out with the kids, man. Maurice was one of those kids.
Right.
And like, I kind of got out of boxing. And then after that, I came back in. So it was like I was over there kind of helping out with the kids. And then, I kind of just stopped going. Something happened. And then I was like, well, man, I keep working. And then, but I saw EJ's father, and that kind of got me back into it because he asked me, could I help him?
Right.
Kind of like, so it's kind of funny because you think about it. if I would have went to that Black Gloves tournament, even though his father said he had been trying to get in contact with me possibly to help, if I would have went to that Black Gloves tournament, then we wouldn't be here now. I know I wouldn't, But yeah, we possibly wouldn't be here now because I went to the tournament. The father was like, "You think you can help him?" I was like, "Yeah, man," and that was kind of it. We started training, started winning everything like immediately. So it was like he had, that just said he had everything he needed.
Right.
As a, he had everything he needed as an athlete. But at the same time, I think that he needed a knowledgeable way. Needed to be listened and expanded his mental on boxing or whatever, different shots and how to put the power after that. He started knocking everybody out. Everybody. So, but yeah, man, I haven't seen Maurice. Going back to Maurice, I haven't seen Maurice in, I don't know. It's been a long time. Because I'm always on my.
I remember the first time I met you. I was slanging VHS tapes, and you mentioned the Hatleys.
Videos from you. That's right. Yeah.
I was the bootleg boxing king of Dallas Fort Worth, making decent money. And you wanted Riddick Bowe. Most people wanted guys in their weight class, or Mexicans would want Mexican fighters, brothers would want brothers, white guys would want white fighters. And what stuck out to me was you wanted Riddick Bowe, and you were you were still fighting middleweight, super middleweight at the time. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you were like, oh man, he's the best end fighter in the game right now.
Right.
So right then and there, I started paying attention to your boxing brain. A year or so later, I see you at Lawman sparring Alan Green, who walked around way heavier than you did, and he couldn't touch you when you guys were sparring. So just wanted to bring those recollections to you. And then, of course, EJ, I remember when y'all first clicked up, and it made sense because EJ, he's still aggressive like he was, but you definitely added more science. You added more patience. He was just out there, just kill mode. But you definitely slowed him down. You got him to think more. So for people, especially locally, who try to say whatever about that whole thing, I can attest. I saw the improvements in EJ. I saw the improvements, and there's no mistaking that you put your stamp on them for sure. So,
but I think even more crazy is how people are still upset about that. It's like asinine. Because one thing Burley said to me, said that he said every time there's a big fight, everybody comments on it, right? Everybody got comments to say. He said, but when Jermell won, he said not one person said anything. Then not one person. This is what Burley Brooks said. He said, listen, I'm looking at. He said, not one person locally said anything. Like they didn't say nothing. Because they wanted me to lose. I mean, just like there was an email going around about the first time that Jermell lost to Harrison.
Right.
Like people were happy, right? But do you know how bad I would have to fail for it to matter to you? I mean, come on, man, are you for real? This guy had defended the title like 5 or 6 times.
Right.
He's a champ. I mean, he was a champ for like 3 years at the time.
What, knocked out everybody but Trout, I believe?
Right. I mean, how can we? I mean, I don't know, but listen, man. But Burley just said that. He said to me, the coach said, look at this. Now, one person said anything about Jermell winning the Unified Championship. And he fought a guy who, I think people thought he was going to lose. If they didn't think he was going to lose, they hoped he lost, So, but, hey, man, listen, most people, now the boxing fans are phenomenal. We'll put it like this: boxing fans are phenomenal, but I think the boxing people have an issue with it. Which, think about this: all these other fighters, EJ inspired this type of. I believe he inspired Maurice Hooker. I believe he inspired. I believe he inspired them to be able to be great fighters. I mean, I'm just saying,
No, there's no doubt about that. You have that. He's that carrot up there, and we all we all need something to aim for, and whatever it is that we're trying to achieve. Like you need something to shoot for. So I get that.
Some aspirations, yeah.
So let's you being a trainer, are you still a fan of boxing, or these days when you watch a fight, does your trainer's eye always inevitably take over, or can you just sit back, kick your feet up, eat some popcorn, watch a fight?
I gotta be able to I have to be able to remove myself from that situation, because you'd always be you'd be a butthole, because you'd always be passing judgment.
So REED-BBS, we hear REED-BBS Televisión here with the one, the only Derrick James. A lot of people don't know this. I know among your favorite old school hip hop artists is KRS-One. So I need an off the dome freestyle of your top 7 to 10 pound for pound fighters. They don't have to rhyme. But off the head, you just 7 to 10. They ain't got to be in order, but give me 7 to 10 fighters who deserve pound for pound recognition.
Clarissa Shields, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Jermell Charlo.
That's 5. I'm counting for you. That's 5. We're halfway there.
I don't even know 2 other.
What do you think of Naoya Inoue, the Japanese guy?
Never seen him fight before.
Okay.
Oh yeah, my man Chocolito. I love Chocolito. Very skilled, very athletic, and I never seen the other guy because I really don't watch a lot of boxing.
Okay.
Really, I used to watch a lot of fights, but now I really kind of it's like no. But I'm not. I don't know. So I have one more. Who's let me see. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna throw names at you. Josh Taylor, maybe.
Never seen him fight before.
The guy that beat Regis Prograis, you never saw that? You didn't see that fight?
No.
Okay. Tyson Fury. I mean, I'm just throwing names at you.
I thought about Tyson Fury because he is the heavyweight champ of the world.
Right.
And he's a unified champ. So I think that. Throw me some more, and I'll see if I can put him in.
Alexander Usyk. He just fought Derrick Chisora like a month ago.
Usyk is the guy. Yeah. But the funny thing about it, I've never seen him fight before. But I mean, he was a unified champ. He's an undisputed champ, I believe. Now he's fighting. Yeah, but I never seen him fight.
Unified. He was undisputed at cruiserweight, and he was a gold medalist in 2012.
Okay.
So what about Lomachenko or Teofimo Lopez?
I think that Lomachenko is not there anymore. You can't be, and you just took off. But I think that Teofimo is not there yet because I think that
it's the only guy you beat. You got to do a little bit more.
I think that you just have to do a little bit more work. I mean, but what happened? What's funny about it is they gave it to Lomachenko so early too. But that's not. I'm not saying Teofimo is not a great fighter. I'm just saying that. I think that a couple more fights, a couple more fighters, and then you can say that without a doubt.
Okay, so you left a pretty prominent name off, maybe by design. I don't know if you said Terrence Crawford or not. If you would...
Yeah, I said Terrence Crawford. The third person I said.
Oh, okay, my bad. I ain't trying to start nothing. I just didn't hear you say.
I said it. Hey, we play it back. Yeah, I said Terrence Crawford.
Okay, my bad. So we got your top 10. Don't know if you can tell. I got a Roy Jones poster behind me. Did you check out the Tyson Roy exhibition the other day?
I saw it the other day. Yeah, I did. I saw it. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's cool. I think that the nostalgia of it got everybody involved, right? But I think that I think that it was so interesting that they got people to forget about how old they were.
Yes.
And people started to think about how they felt when Roy Jones would fight and how they felt when Mike Tyson fought, right?
Right.
And the idea of that. But then this was like the truest essence of boxing or life, because what we make up in our minds to think that we're going to get, but what you actually get was a 51 and a 54-year-old guy fighting.
Right.
I mean, and there was like they never said that's not what you're gonna see, but people trying to go somewhere else. So, because you saw a 51 and a 54-year-old guy boxing, and it was cool to see that. But what I'm saying is that the idea of those, put like this, the feeling that it made people feel is a feeling of nostalgia, but at the same time, it's a beautiful feeling because it's something that takes your mind to another place. Because it made them think they were going to see the young Roy and the young Mike, right? Mentally, people went in,
especially the Mike Tyson mid-work
right,
videos. Like
right,
people was like, "Oh my God, Mike, he's gonna
told
kill
it.
Roy."
Beautiful. I mean, but it was listen, but it was the true essence of what the reality of it was. They never lied and told you that was people's mind taking them to this idea of what thought they were going to see. I thought it was cool, man. Now, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, they probably still in the bed right now.
Still in the ice tub.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of ice and a lot of Epsom salt involved in the recovery of this situation because, hey, man, like Roy was saying, he was so strong, so he's sore afterwards to taking the body.
Exactly.
That's life, man. You get to know. If you think about it, at that age, not many people get to relive something that they really truly enjoy. So it's cool.
Right, and people have theorized. I think I could see where maybe they didn't go as hard on each other as they could, but
Right.
me as a fan of both, I didn't want to see either of those dudes get hurt. So they entertained me. They went hard enough on each other without trying to kill each other. To me, no one wants to see a 54-year-old beat the shit out of a 51-year-old or vice versa.
I think they kind of did though. I think that's what sold it. The idea of Mike, and Mike was like, "I'm gonna go knock him out," but it was like they really sold it. They did.
Right.
Mike, Mike Tyson is like the truth right now because he revealed himself in so many ways that you can't reveal yourself in, and you can tell he's going to therapy from the way he speaks and his understanding of himself. And he found out how to be a businessman from the podcast to the marijuana sales to the promoting the fights. I mean, he knows what he's doing, man.
Right, he's truly living his best life.
Right.
Now,
right.
with that said, what are your thoughts on the Nate Robinson fight or the knockout itself, and maybe not just the fight, because I mean it was a professional athlete who never boxed against a YouTuber. What about the backlash and the memes?
I think that is some whack asinine BS because let me tell you why. He did what he did when everybody sit and talk. See, if you think about this, I'm not going. One of the guys who talk more trash than anybody, Ocho Cinco. I'm not gonna be, Ocho better not jump in the ring with me. I'm gonna handle it. But just I wouldn't line up with I wouldn't line with Ocho on the line. He's gonna burn me. He's gonna smoke me. He's gonna clown me. I think it has to be a level of respect for every aspect of sports, right? But I think that his corner, because he got hit in the back of the head, right? The first knockdown, and he never recovered from that. I mean, because when he kept holding his head, that's a sign that, hey, listen, man, get me out of here, right?
Right.
But then when they throw him back in there, right, he forgets about that aspect of that because he's like, I got to fight. The second, they should have got him out of there, right? Because you have to save embarrassment. When the second knockdown, if you look at him when they got him up and he look on his face,
he didn't want any more, but the ref even had to ask him a couple times. To your point, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to continue." But to your point, you could see he really didn't want to continue.
Listen, man, first of all, you're supposed to protect the fighter, especially a guy who never been in a situation like this. And then, I mean, so I think it was whack, because they didn't protect him. I think, but his corner should have did something. I mean, you know, because he had he didn't want. I mean, he could have quit. You know what I'm saying? But I think that quitting was not an option because he would have got even more of a backlash.
Like Daniel Dubois got the same night, right?
Right. Yeah. And that's why you save him. Right? That's why you save him. That's why you don't really let him go through that and endure that. But I think that more importantly, like the people teasing, laughing at him, and come on, man. I've been knocked down before, never been knocked down. I've been knocked down like 3-4 times in my life. And I put myself in his position mentally to where I could imagine how he feels. And think about this, he's never boxed before.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, everybody we're in a day and age now, everybody playing boxing.
Right.
Everybody, if you're a boxing fan, then you put on some gloves. But it's different than when we get in there with somebody who's trying to see that wasn't a boxing exhibition like Mike and Roy's was. And they don't have the level of control that Mike and Roy had. Right.
Right. You have to be good and skilled to be able to hold back.
Right.
And neither one of those guys are at that level, nor will they ever be.
But the other kid, I think the other guy had been boxing for a little bit longer. And
a year or two, maybe close to 3 years. Yeah, he's been training.
Right. You know, and Nate really kind of like but the other guy went to some boxers because I believe he had Jaden Love and what's my man's name? Used to be a fighter heavyweight.
His brother had Shannon Briggs.
That's my boy. Yeah, my brother in the ring. Yeah, but the other guy he had in the corner was used to be a commentator, but he was a fighter also.
Oh yeah. He was a cruiserweight.
Then he moved to
BJ
heavyweight.
Flores, maybe.
BJ Flores, yeah. BJ
Okay.
Flores, yeah.
Yeah.